Do you like being part of social media?
Yes and no. No one speaks about the aftermath when it doesn't work out. I felt like I never had that experience, the family unit together. I wanted to be a television presenter. Drew Barrymore, I love her so much. It's gonna be me. You're naive enough to be like, yeah, I love it. I'll do it for free. Amazing. It will be an unpaid summer. And I was like, oh, amazing. Like, it was so scary. I have a job on Love Island. Do you want it? Nothing ever beats seeing your name in the credits for the first time. And we launched it in January of 2020. I was like crying all the time. Every scenario, I was like, this is bad for me. Sure, at some point I'll Jen.
You know I'm a huge advocate of that.
Okay, now it's your time. Prove that you can do it by yourself. Never be afraid of the no.
Today on the podcast, we are doing things a little differently because Sweet and Savory is officially on the road. We have left the studio behind and we are coming to you live from London for our very first on-the-go episode. And for this special moment, we are turning the microphone around on my vivacious social media manager, Sophie Ross. Sophie is someone who truly lives and breathes social media. She just gets it. She's built an incredible career helping artists and networks reach the masses. And even though we usually work across the pond from one another, she is the wizard who beautifully brings our trailers and clips to life. But let's be real. She is also the person who keeps me cool, keeps me on top of trends, and handles the absolute miracle of nudging me to actually take a photo and a TikTok when I'd otherwise completely forget. Today, we're diving into her journey from the morning show in the UK to how she navigates the wild, ever-changing industry. Sophie, welcome to the show, finally.
Yay. Thanks for having me. I'm so honored.
You had me come all the way to London just to do this.
Right? I was like, get on a plane right now.
Okay, so where are you from in the world? Where were you born?
I'm from the southeast of London. A town called Bromley. I've lived there my whole entire life. Grew up there, went to school there. It's my town. It's where I'm from.
And explain to me a little bit about Bromley, because I've heard some things. And the way in which you say it is kind of like,
No, I actually do love Bromley.
Yeah.
I think some people will say you don't class it as London because my postcode and everything is Kent. However, it's a London borough, everyone. We're in Zone 5. So we are in London. It's like the Brooklyn to New York. That's how I say it, because it is. It's like 25 minutes into the city.
And then it's awesome. What you're telling me is it's hip and cool if it's like Brooklyn.
It's cool. It's got a theater. It's got a cinema.
And it's got
a Taco Bell. Come on. Obviously, the three best things ever. What could we want?
And what was your childhood like growing up?
I grew up in like a close. We called it a close. So it's just like a little, I don't know how to describe that.
Like a cul-de-sac?
Yeah, I guess a cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And a lot of my neighbours had kids that were the same age as me. So we all went to school together, all grew up together, and we all used to play outside together. So it was a nice little community of people, I would say. I mean, we're all very, very different. Don't get me wrong. But I did grow up in a really good generation before social media even hit. So my whole childhood was spent playing outside with these people. We would put on shows for our parents, have sleepovers in the garden. Like, that was what childhood was for us. Social media didn't even come into play. So I feel really, really fortunate to have had that experience, especially now with social media being so crazy.
So at what age did social media come into your life?
Probably midway through what we would call secondary school, so probably high school. And that was really only Facebook. Really. I mean, Instagram was kind of about to sort of begin, but really, like, I didn't have it for a really, really long time. And even phones and things like that. Like, we had brands of phones that no longer really exist, like Motorola and like things like that. You had to like Bluetooth people's songs if you wanted to have a song on your phone. You had the storage for like one song. And it would like change every week. But we just didn't have that. And when I look back at any pictures that we took at that point, they're blurry. Like, no one cares. Like, we just really didn't care about it. We had MSN Messenger, and that was like the most you would ever get to speak to someone on the internet.
Unless you went and hung out with your neighbors outside.
Unless you hung out with people outside.
Which is, I miss too, as well. But also, it's a beautiful tool that you've definitely been able to use to your advantage in a lot of ways, and you have a passion for it. But we'll get to that.
Yes, of course.
Did you have any siblings growing up? What was your childhood like in regards to like your parents? What did they do?
For sure. So my parents divorced when I was really young. So it's not like I really remember living in a household with two parents. My dad went on to have other children with other people. So I do have half siblings. They're not really in my life at this current time. I probably grew up with one of them for a really small amount of time. But for me, it feels like I was more of an only child because I lived with my mom in my household, just the two of us, pretty much my whole entire life. So I always just felt like I was an only child. You know what I mean?
Did you like that?
Like, I feel like it has its flaws and against. I feel like now that I'm an adult, I probably see the effects of being an only child more than when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have that, like, your go-to bestie who's like your sibling that you can just have on call. You don't have that. You don't, like, learn to live with other people by your parents. Like, it's such an interesting dynamic. Yeah. I feel like I see it way, way more now as we're getting older, and I see how people are with their siblings. And I'm like, oh, I wish that was the experience that I had now, but also back when I was a child.
Do you feel like you have that with friends?
To a certain extent, I'm like a friend person through and through. I have been that way my entire life. I am like ride or die. Like anything you need from me, I will give you. Like I'll give you 110% of myself.
Yeah.
I understand sometimes. I mean, I sometimes want what I give, and that's not the way that life works.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always 50-50. It's not, that's not how the friendship dynamic can be. But I'm a friend gal. I think I always will be.
Do you think a little bit of that is because you were an only child? Because you were craving that kind of sibling dynamic?
Yeah. And I latch onto people like no tomorrow. I'm like, as soon as someone's nice to me, I'm like, yes, amazing. We'll be best friends forever.
So then what you were saying about like, it's not, relationships aren't always 50-50. Do you feel like that's something you had to learn? Because were you someone like, I give so much. Why am I not getting that?
100%.
Okay.
I have been through that like so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably write a book on how many times this has happened to me.
That will happen. She will
Maybe
write
one
a book.
day, the friendship book. Yeah, and for me, it's like really simple things. Like I'm not someone who ever wants a lot from someone else, really. But I will give you everything, and I want you to feel special, and I want you to like feel loved by me, of course.
Yeah.
But it's not always reciprocal in a lot of situations, and that's when you start. You sort of feel hurt a lot of the time when that doesn't happen. And then I have to tell myself, not everyone's going to be the same as you. People think differently. We can't all be the same. But then I'm like, why can we not be the same?
It's almost like people's love languages, right? Like everyone kind of does things a little differently. And some it's they give time, some it's they give presents, some it's they give,
You know
so
what I mean?
same with friendships.
But for me, I'm like, I don't need presents, but give me a card and it will mean the world to me.
Oh.
Like just write me one card and I'll be like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Like any gift I've ever been given.
Yeah.
If someone's given me a card and it has words in of something just nice, I'm like, this is amazing.
You are so good at that, by the way.
You can take the gift back. I appreciate it, but like the card is everything to me. So it's simple gestures like that I always want from someone else.
Yeah.
Like at a birthday or a moment, I will give people cards when they're like in a show, congratulations, like anything. And so I love it. I'm like, I want you to feel special for a second.
Yeah.
But you don't always get it back. And then I'm sad about it.
Do you keep every card or letter that you've ever been given?
I don't think I do have some and I do come across some every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, from people that I am maybe still friends with or people that I'm not friends with anymore. That always I'm like, oh, I remember that time we were friends. Like this was a sweet moment between us. I do keep a lot of stuff, but like not everything.
So what was your relationship between both your mom and your dad? And then your grandparents, was anybody around? What was your relationship?
So I actually really was very close to my grandma and my mum's mum. And I still am. I think the pandemic made us not as close a little bit, but leading up to that point, I'm the oldest grandchild. So I spent a lot of time with her in my childhood. We spent a lot of summers together, exploring London, going to shows, doing things. So I felt like I was always the closest to her, especially because, I'm the oldest. And then after me, there's quite a big age gap. So I was like already growing up in that time when it was just kind of me and her. My mum and I have an interesting relationship. Even now, like, I'm so grateful for her for like keeping me alive all this time, of course. We're not like crazy close, but we do still live under the same roof. So, there's things that we have to deal with every day with each other. I'm sure if we didn't live together, it would be a different scenario. But, I'm really grateful for the childhood that I had. I never felt like I went without stuff. She worked in travel. We got to go on amazing holidays because of that situation. Oh. So amazing. And I always went away with my mum and my nan, always. So that was like a little trio of us going to some great places. With my dad, I feel like it was a very like ropey relationship because him and my mum didn't get on. So then that kind of falls onto effect with you. And when he then remarried someone else, I think I was probably the person that didn't like the stepmom for a hot minute because, I was like the first child. They then had a child. It's a very different dynamic in that situation. He didn't live crazy close to me. So the times I did spend with him was like far and few between. And now, sadly, like we just don't have a relationship. Like it's just gone past the point of having a relationship. As I've got older, it's just not happened.
When your dad remarried and had another kid, did it kind of feel like you were abandoned?
I don't know. I think it's weird because, he was living. It's always like when your dad goes and lives with the other family. You know what I mean? They lived together until they ended up breaking up way later on. But because
his second wife.
Yes, because I don't remember living with him really. I felt like I never had that experience of like the family unit together. And then you move on with someone else and you're like, oh, and that's a nice like family and they have a lovely little house and the sibling gets to enjoy that experience with both parents. I think like anyone that gets to have that is just fortunate to have a family unit. I always think that now when friends of mine want to hang out with their parents, they want to do stuff together. I'm like, how lucky are you to have that? Because it's never something that I had as a trio, as a duo, any of those scenarios.
Does that ever feel lonely?
Yeah, a little bit.
I was going to say, how else does that present itself? That feeling of,
I feel lonely in the times when I'm like in my house and I really deep it and I think about it. You know what I mean? In those moments. Probably why I'm such a friend person, because I really want to try and like be with other people all the time and like do jobs that like feel sociable enough to like have people around me. But it does feel lonely. And again, it's going back to the sibling thing. It's not like I can just go to another room and there's a sibling there to like talk about it with. It's like you and you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can text a friend or whatever, but like it gets a bit relentless after a while, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that though. Is there any positives that come from that? Just to ask the question. I mean, I think
I'm sure there is a positive somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure it's made me a stronger person in the long run. Truly. Because I'm like always putting myself first and thinking about myself. And I think, I advocate for myself so much because of that. So there's probably a positive somewhere in the chaos of it all. But it's hard to find that positive in the moments you're like, okay, a little bit lonely now, but it's fine.
Do you believe in therapy or do you go to therapy?
I don't not believe in it. Imagine. I don't believe in it.
Even
whole shock. No, I don't not believe in it. I haven't been to therapy. I think as well because therapy is so expensive. It's why a lot of people don't go, I think, for the most part. And it's very hard to get access to it.
Even
to
in
a
the
certain
UK?
extent. Yes. You can be put on like waiting lists to get free therapy 100%. But the waiting list is so long. So unless you're, in a position to keep paying for it a lot of the time, I think a lot of people don't do it.
Do you feel like there's anything you do that can kind of help in a way that isn't therapy, but something different?
I feel like I need to start journaling because everyone tells like the whole time, my whole life, people are like, just write it down. And I'm like, okay. And then I buy the journal and then I'm like, what will I write?
I will say,
I'm sure at some point I'll journal.
I'm a huge advocate of that. And you now know that I'm going to literally be like every day, be like, do you journal?
Yeah, I'm going to be
meditate?
like, did you write
do
your
it?
thing? Yeah, maybe I'll meditate the whole thing.
I would love, by the way, just knowing you, I would love to imagine you sitting there for 10 minutes,
You know what I mean?
clearing your brain of all thoughts.
Imagine.
Because I think your brain.
I think it would be great for me, truly.
Well, you are somebody I have
My
to
brain
say,
has a lot of thoughts.
I think it goes faster than mine. And everybody has always said,
I think
I go
so.
fast. And I think when I met you, I was like, I've met my match.
Yes.
I was like,
The combination of us is a lot.
But it's very productive when
fine.
we both are like on the same, like, this is what we're doing. And like,
We're productive.
we can kind of take, like, we're just
We
like,
could take over the world.
We could take over the
You know?
world. Maybe that's what they'll do next.
This is what it is.
It's not a bad idea. So sorry. Going back to growing up, you had mentioned you and your nan and your mother went on vacations because
Yes.
your mom was in travel.
Yes.
Where did you go? Do you remember any really cool places you went to?
It wasn't that we went like crazy places. Like we definitely went to New York at one point. Great. So that's probably where my love for New York started, way back in like 2006. But we went to Turkey a lot. It was a lot of like luxury resort hotels because the discounts were so amazing what we were getting that for three of us, it was costing like not even the price of one person in these amazing resorts. So it's like every summer that was the kind of the thing, and I was lucky to be able to go in the school holidays because it's very expensive to do that, when you're here and whatnot. So having those experiences were great.
So you had a good childhood, all in all.
You know what, all in all, I got through school life. The childhood was kind of fine. I feel like, of course, little bits and bobs probably came into play, but for the most part, nothing like crazy, which is also a blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But also, of course, never minimize what you did go through, but it's, and I'm sorry you were made to feel that way. Continuing on, as I know you love New York,
I do.
but also I would love to know your trajectory from childhood where you said social media wasn't even present.
It was not
Basically,
present.
being on the internet, on phone wasn't even present. When did you discover you loved social media?
Yeah.
But I also, just to preface, I also know you love the arts.
I do.
What kind of came first, or what was the trajectory, or did you know what you wanted to do?
I feel like I changed a lot as a kid. You know what I mean? I danced all the way up until I was 18. I loved to dance.
What kind of dance?
Then, like a little bit of tap, jazz, modern, bit of street, loads of different things. And I went to the classes every week.
Yeah.
And I really did love that. And then one day the cast of Chicago came in and we learned all that jazz. And I was like, this is it. I'm going to be a dancer. I was like, this is what I want to do. And then about a week later, I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't, it's a very fickle industry. The dance industry is crazy, as is many entertainment industries. And I was like, I don't think I want to put myself in that.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing the dance and I'll still do the dance. I just don't think I'm going to do it at that level.
Do you still dance today?
Like very occasionally. I feel like I lost my confidence with it because I did it for so many years up until that age. And then, then you just kind of stop doing it. I did do a dance class in New York last year and it was kind of like, okay, you could still do it.
What was the dance class you took?
It's like a beginner something. Because I was like, I can't go in the intermediate level anymore. Like I need to go back to the basics because I'd rather be keeping up and be okay in beginners than be like out of my depth in a class that's one up from that. And it was fun. It was really enjoyable.
And what kind
of
dance?
There was no pressure.
Was it like just hip hop?
It's kind of like, I guess it was just jazz, commercial. Like it was very,
just a little bit of
Just a
everything.
little something.
I love that.
Yeah,
And
and
you
I think
that
I think it was to like Mamma Mia or something crazy.
Of course it was.
I was like, this is great.
So does your love for musicals,
Mhm.
Broadway musicals, I would say to be precise,
Yes, all the
does it come
musicals.
from dance or come
You
from
know
that
what?
one instant where
I actually
instance for
don't know.
Chicago? Really?
Because the thing is, like, and my mum will say it to me all the time, like, I have no idea where you found your love for theatre because nobody in my family is in theatre. Nobody's in any creative industry whatsoever. People work in banks. Really, I just don't know where that connection ever came from. I guess when I was in school, I did do drama as like a GCSE
In high school?
in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved drama then. And they did take us to see like maybe one play.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I guess it probably stemmed off of that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know when it just became a thing that I just love so much. And then it just did.
Looking at your childhood, and because I'm touching on things I experienced, so please
Yes.
correct me if I'm overstepping, but did it ever feel like it was kind of an escape from life too?
Probably.
Like, for me,
Yeah.
it's like you're kind of able to kind of step away
You're
from
stepping
life
away. You're like watching something else play out for a bit.
or do
I
it
think the
yourself.
arts is that in general, you
The
know,
what?
just the arts is that in general.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm like, when I just want to like not think about London life for a second, take me to a musical, 2.5 hours, don't talk to me, let me be immersed in this world.
Yeah.
And then I can go back to my life afterwards. You know what I mean? It's just a really amazing way just to take yourself away from whatever is happening in the present.
Do you feel the same way when you're watching TV or movies?
Yes,
Okay, so
I think so.
They all give you that to you.
I love TV. I love film. I love anything creative. I really do love.
Growing up, was there specific TV shows or movies that really impacted your upbringing?
You know, my favorite is Grey's. I mean, that's not a secret. But I was watching Grey's in like 2006. Like my mum's friend gave me a box set and it was like seasons 1 and 2. And she was like, watch this. And I was like, okay. And then you just never stop watching it.
Yeah.
Even now to present day, I'm like, it's still going. That and Sex and the City, two completely polar opposite shows. I think Sex and the City because it was like 4 women who like had this amazing friendship. And I was like, I want to be in a girl group like that. Because that's another thing that I really craved, I think, growing up was just not ever fitting into a group of girls and just having that girl gang at all. I'm always gravitate towards guys. I'm such good friends with so many guys. I was really good friends with guys when I was in primary school, which comes before high school. And then they just followed me all the way through, you know, and boys that would like stand up for me when I needed someone, you know, they were just right with me.
What were they needing
Whereas
to
like girls are bitchy, you know, it's not always the same. And at school, they were just like that. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to find my girl gang here. Like there's not really anyone. I was floating around a lot of different sort of groups of people for a minute. Like I knew everyone, but.
In what ways were girls mean?
It's just mean, you know. I probably got bullied at some point in my childhood. Definitely not to the extent of like how people get bullied now, 100%. Like I don't come away from it thinking, oh my God, that was such a traumatic experience of being bullied. But people are mean online. Even back then, you know, people had Messenger, people could do stuff anonymously. And that did happen for a minute, not to like a crazy level, but it definitely did happen at some point in school. And girls were just like that. I just feel like that's just, not every girl. I mean, you know, there's some great ones, but
yeah,
you know,
but you
in
did
the school
feel...
age, it can be like that. And now it's like elevated to like a complete other level. And you're like, how has this happened? But
do you feel for the younger generation now and just...
So much. Yeah. And I like, with my younger cousins, I mean, most of them are boys, but when just listening to their school life and things that they got up to and got into, and I was like, whoa, that would never have happened to me, like ever.
And like,
like,
what's an example?
Just like, I mean, I'm actually quite a goody two shoes, to be fair, for the most part. But some of the stories, I was like, this is insane. You know, now it's like kids are like doing drugs and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, wow. People, like the most people did in my school was like go into the field and smoke a cigarette. Like, it's just such a crazy world now. And then people fighting with each other. I'm like, whoa, that's just not my experience.
Why do you think that has changed so much?
I don't know. I think social media has a massive play. People can just say what they want, even more so online. It's elevated way, way more than saying something to someone in real life.
Do you like being part of social media?
Yes and no. And I feel like I kind of fell into it because going back, like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Really throughout my whole childhood, I wanted to be a television presenter or a radio presenter. Like that's all I ever wanted in my life was that.
Wait, when did that spark?
All the way through, still in the arts, still in the thing. I used to watch E! Entertainment religiously. So like every award show, I'd be up until like 4 a.m. watching it. Red carpets, full award shows. Ryan Seacrest was like everything I wanted to be. I was like, I want to be you. Or like Juliana Rancic. Like I just really loved that world. And I remember I did like a self-tape for E! Entertainment one time when they were like, we're looking for a presenter. And I was like, it's going to be me. And then I found the self-tape not that long ago. And I was like, oh my goodness me. The fact that I even sent that is like crazy. Because like they would never have hired me on this self-tape.
But how old were you?
I don't know, probably like 17, 18. No, I must have been over 18, 100%.
Will you show it to me after?
If I can find it again. It was so bad. It was so bad.
But that's everything looking back.
I was a go-getter. I was like, of course I'm going to apply for this. Like, it's e-entertainment. It's all I want.
See, that's the thing. I applaud you for even trying. Like, you know, you tried. You did it. And yes, you can look back and be like,
I was like,
that's embarrassing.
Am I okay? And I was like, yes.
Am I okay?
Someone probably had a laugh when they watched it at some point. And
So
I
it
was
was basically watching these kind of news outlets that made you go, I want to be. And did you ever want to be a talk show host? Like who was there? Like an Oprah at the time? Or did you, it was more.
I think I just really wanted to interview people. Like I've always loved that. I had like, you know, what do you call it? I idolized people who were TV presenters here in the UK who like now jumping forward into my career, I've been able to work with nearly every single one of them, which is actually crazy to me, bar one. Yeah. So hopefully that will happen at some point.
Who's the one?
Fern Cotton. She's a TV presenter here. She's
putting
like,
it out there. What is her name?
Fern Cotton.
Fern Cotton?
Yes.
Fern Cotton?
Yeah.
Her name is Fern Cotton?
She was like a childhood presenter. She's done loads of stuff. She was on Radio 1 for years. Like she's like, everyone would know her in the UK.
What a fantastic name.
I know.
You kind of can't forget that name.
She's so badass. She's amazing.
So that's who you want to work with still?
Yeah.
That's
at one point in life, just anything, just one day would be fine.
And do you want to eventually be in the US and
I always want to be in the US. I mean, I don't always want to be in the US. Career-wise, I want to be in the US.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. But I was such a go-getter at that age. If any opportunity came my way, I was like, of course I'm going to apply for this. I would be like on Twitter because back then Twitter was massive tool for career.
What is back then? Wait,
back then. So when I was probably like 18.
Yeah, just so it's a timeline. Okay.
Yeah, about 18 because people would join and then you'd be able to like message people and I would message radio presenters all the time being like, can I just come and sit in the studio for a day? Like I was like 15. I actually think I was even younger. I think I started doing it when I was about 15.
Just reaching out.
And at that point, people would reply to you. It's not the same as social media is now. You message people, they probably are not going to reply. Back then, everyone was replying. Like, of course you can come to the studio. You can come every Saturday. Okay, great. I'll just go sit in the studio of one of the biggest radio stations every Saturday and just watch you host your show.
So you had that fearlessness to actually put yourself out there.
I was like, I want to do it. And I really want to be a presenter. And I was like, this is my way in at some point. And I like left a note on the desk of another presenter who was like the morning show, like weekly presenter. And I was like, and then we connected online. And she became my mentor for like 15 years. Like, you know, we've recently just worked together again. I was always like, oh, what have I got to lose? Like, let me just write this down. Sure, if they don't get back to me or don't say anything, then I'll never know. I
mean, I must say, I'll jump ahead to our working relationship and now obviously friendship is you sent an email.
I sent an email.
Like, and it wasn't just an email. It was a very well-crafted, beautifully put.
You know what? And it's crazy because as soon as I sent it, I was like, I should have rewritten that email.
Really?
It's always when you after you've sent something, you read it back and you're like, oh goodness me.
No.
But then the next day it was fine.
I just want to say that email you sent me, I mean, it changed everything.
Everything.
I was really looking for somebody to help me at the conventions and we had never met before.
Never.
And I think that was also kind of something that I was like, oh, I don't know who this person is.
Yes.
And she works for the morning show, so it legitimized you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm doing something.
And you basically pitched yourself. I said, yeah, let's meet. And I said, like, let's just try a day. Come to the convention for a day.
And it was so crazy because I remember it was like 6 a.m. and I was like waiting to meet you for the first time. And I was like, please just be nice. I was like,
were you really?
Yeah, because I was like, you know, I've already reached out. It's already happened so fast, like within the space of 24 hours. You know what I mean?
It was
I'm
fast.
getting a call being like, you free tomorrow? Yeah, fine, I'm here. And then 6 a.m. and I'm like, okay, it's either going to go one of two ways. I'm either going to walk in and straight away I'm going to be like, no. Or it will go on the flip side. And luckily it did.
So you don't regret the decision.
Yeah, I was like a year and a bit on. I'm like, we're still going. It's fine, everyone. She is actually very nice.
It seems to be working well. Okay.
I was scared.
I want to take it. I'm sure it was scary, but I want to take it back to you having this just kind of fearlessness at a young age and wanting to be a host, but it was rooted in your love of the arts and love of entertainment,
movies. And TV. I wanted to work on like big entertainment shows. Like I had a list of like dream shows that I wanted to be on.
Which were?
The X Factor, like Britain's Got Talent, like, you know, these big sort of reality entertainment-y shows. But also going back to my grandma is that when I was about 12, I used to drag her along to TV show recordings. I was like, we will be in the audience of every TV show that's on in the UK. Everything. I think you were meant to be 16. Somehow I was getting in at 12. I was like, we'll go together. Like all of the daytime talk shows that had audiences here. Yeah. Like I was like, I want to be in the world. I just want to watch them recording.
What do you think it is about what they do that you love so much?
I don't know. And back then I was like, you know, maybe I'll just work in production. Like I didn't really know what I wanted. I knew I wanted to do presenting, but like if that didn't work out, would I go into the production side, the behind the scenes side?
Yeah.
Because social media wasn't a thing that you'd even consider at that point. because it wasn't a thing. But I was like, what could I do? Let me just be in the audience and just be immersed in the world. And like, maybe when I'm there, I'll get to meet someone that has inspired me, and then that'll be great, or like something like that.
Like, I think I'm just so curious as to what it is that you latch on to. Like, what is it that you see that you're like, I love that, I want that?
I mean, maybe it's just the human connection of it all. They were always getting to, interview amazing people that I was like, wow, imagine like interviewing this person or whatever, because nowadays a lot of people asking the same questions all the time. So I was always like, I would ask all of these other questions that would be amazing. And they've never answered it before. I was just in that mentality. And I was like, I just want to do it.
Do you still do that when you watch shows? Do you kind of go like, why aren't they asking this question?
Always. Or like I can be like, I know what they're going to say. Because I've heard the answer a million times over and over. And the creativity kind of lacks. And you can really tell in those situations and on red carpets, people who have done research and are actual fans of the person, or just really have like thought about what they're going to ask. Or whether, if they're not, they're just going to ask the very blanket stuff.
And would you say it's pretty rare to find somebody who asks really good questions?
Yeah. Someone that like really cares about it. There's a lot of people that pop up on my TikTok that do a lot of like press junkets now in the UK, and some of their questions are so thoughtful and really thought out. And you can tell because the actors are like, this is the best interview we've done all day, and they really care about these people.
Yeah.
And then you can tell when it's just not that, when it's just like the very basics.
Yeah.
Tell me about the film, just very standard.
Do you still want, now that you've gotten into social media, do you still want to host?
I don't ever want to host. I mean, listen, I had a podcast way back in the day. It was probably 2015. Podcasts weren't even a thing then. Like it was like the early age of podcasts. And me and my friend,
you could have been huge by
me
now,
and my friend co-hosted it together.
Yeah.
And we were really lucky. We interviewed Stephanie Beatrice, and she was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine at the time. We interviewed the editor of Glamour magazine, who was huge here at the time. It was her first ever podcast. And it was like going into like a Devil Wears Prada setup, because it was this office with glass walls and everyone could watch us interviewing this person. Like it was so scary. We were like, oh my God, we're getting all these amazing people.
Yeah.
And then we did probably interviewed about 6 people. And then we were like, we'll do another season of this. And then we both got busy and then never did it again.
And so it was you with somebody else. Who was the other person?
Just a friend of mine at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys did a podcast together.
Yes.
And how old did you say you were when you did that?
It was in 2015. So I'm in early 20s.
Can't tell.
Early 20s. I was like, how old am I? Yeah, early 20s.
Okay. So you did you going back in time? After high school, did you go to college?
I did. Okay. And I think I'm like one of the only people in my family to have ever been at college or university. Yeah. And it was crazy because from here, like you do your high school and then you do a thing called sixth form, which takes you up to 18. So I guess it's like high school maybe goes to 18. I'm not sure, but that's where we go up to. And I did media studies all the way through that. I was always doing media related stuff.
Okay.
Again, everyone in my class was doing production. It was like everyone was applying for university and everyone was doing production. And one day my teacher was like, I don't think you should be doing this. Like, you want to be a presenter, you should be doing journalism. It doesn't make sense that you're going to do production.
Yeah.
Because what, you're going to be a camera operator? Like, you don't want to do that. Like, everyone else is doing it, but I know that you don't want to do that. I was hosting everything for the school. Like, we'd made a documentary for our class and I was the host. Like, the school, like, we did a TV show at the school and I was the host. He was like, you don't want to do this.
You want to host.
So I changed all of because you can apply for 5 at a time. I changed every single one that night to journalism. Bearing in mind, I hate writing. So it was quite an interesting concept to be like, I'm now going to do journalism. And then I got into university and I ended up switching universities a couple of times until I found one that really suited me. Because I didn't get into my first choice originally. And I was so heartbroken.
What was your first choice?
It was a university called London City.
Okay.
It's like one of the top here. And so I went to like my second default. But then halfway through, I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I want to try again for that other one. And so I did. I tried again and I got in.
To London City?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But then it was such a tough course. You had to learn a language. It was like, there was so much pressure on me that I was like, I've made a mistake here. And so I changed for a 3rd time. So I actually ended up being at 3 universities.
Yeah.
And then start with the University of West London, where I did broadcast journalism, which means you then get to do TV and film, radio. It's like a combination of everything.
Yeah.
And it's not just writing, which was great. And I spent every single week that we had off doing work experience. Wherever I could find someone to take me for work experience, I would do it. When I left university, I had so many extra things on my resume. People in my class were like, how have you got this? And I was like, because I've spent my time actually, like the reading weeks where you're like kind of off for a week. And like, I've gone and asked someone to be part of something. I don't know. I was like, because you don't get that experience at university, that extra experience that people want from you.
And you did.
Because I was like, this is what they're going to want from me when I leave.
Yeah.
They're going to care that I have a degree. Of course they are. But they're going to want to know what else I did in the meantime. What was I doing in the summer? You know, I had a job. I worked as a customer service supervisor at a Waitrose for like 7 years. I got that job when I was in the end of high school and I kept it all the way through university.
And customer service what?
a supervisor.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a supervisor at the beginning, but
Yeah.
you know, you get to the supervisor part, which was amazing.
So you were a boss.
And it kept me afloat, and it meant that I could like go on vacation and stuff during the summer, which was amazing because people at university there, they move, they leave home from all over to go to their universities. And then they need a job because they can't afford to live in the towns that they've chosen. And I was like, I have a job already. So I'm not going to live at my university. I'm going to live at home and then reap the benefits of having a job.
So you were able to go in and out from
Yes.
home to school. So it's not that
Because
far.
actually like school ended up being 2 days a week.
Oh, really?
Like it really was so
Why?
slim. I think it just is. Like some courses, obviously, you know, if you're doing like law, I'm sure you're in 5 days a week. But we were like in 2 days a week at max.
Wow.
Like it was so minimal, which is crazy because you pay so much money for it. I mean, nowhere near as much as US colleges, but still enough money to be there for 2 days a week. They'd be like, oh, the lecturer like lives far away and the train's not working, so he can't come in.
And they didn't have like Zoom and stuff.
And you'd be
back
like, no. So you'd be like, okay, just go home then.
Just not have class
go back
today.
to my job. Like, sure.
But did you love going to that school? Was it the right
It was
decision
good.
in the
It
end?
was a good decision.
Okay.
I made it through the 3 years and that's all I cared about. I was like, this is my final shot. Like, I can't do it again.
Did you
Because every year I had to wait for a year to go round to start again. So I started university
Oh, every time.
in 2012. And technically I didn't finish until 2017.
And 2015 is when you started the podcast.
Yes.
So you started the podcast.
I started the podcast when I was in my that last university because they had radio studios and they had equipment that you could hire. Our podcast was set up that we would talk to each other for like 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we would go on location somewhere else.
Oh.
And it wasn't filmed then either. So it was very different.
It was just audio.
It was just audio. So we could just be anywhere with the mics.
Yeah.
So I like utilized the equipment. Hence why we did it then.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I had to wait for a whole new year to start every time.
Wow. So it took
So
basically
it took
almost
like 5
twice
years.
as long.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
And so where did you go after college? Also, when did social media get into the fold? Like
I feel like it was definitely getting into the fold then a bit. But really like career-wise, social media for me only came in post-university. Like I wasn't even thinking about it during university.
were you on social media?
I mean, probably. Yeah, I'd been on vacation in like 2012 and posted about it. So yeah, I must have been. But like not anything crazy. I mean, you were probably on Instagram where we would just post, like I'd take a picture now and just post it and it'd have like a filter on from the app.
Yeah.
Like no one cared. I probably got like 2 likes. Like no one cares.
Yeah.
And we just loved it. We'd post loads. But like career-wise, it didn't happen for me until afterwards. And it never was I never even thought it was a thing until I started like kind of working for a singer for a minute, just being an assistant. When she was in London, because she was based in America, I met a guy there who worked for like a agency. And he was like, oh, I'm about to do a musical in London and we need someone to do the socials. Do you think you'd ever be interested? And I was like, okay. Like I had no idea. I was like, sure. Like just an opportunity was falling in my lap. Like I was kind of working unpaid for this singer. I was like, I need to do something to do something. And he was like, it will be unpaid. And I was like, amazing. Because back then, everything was just like, you do a work experience unpaid. Everything would just be unpaid.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's
Unpaid
the same
interns.
now, but it was just unpaid. And so I still had my other job, which was great. So I mean, I could afford
waitress,
to do,
customer service
customer
supervisor.
service. It meant that I could afford to like do these things unpaid. And it wasn't ideal, but I was like, okay, I need experience, so why not? And when you're young, you kind of you're naive enough to be like, yeah, I love it. I'll do it for free. Amazing. And so I did that for him. And when I look back on the socials of that now, I mean, they were terrible. I had no idea what I was doing. I was kind of left to my own devices. It was like, here's a show. And I was like, okay.
What was the show?
It was called The Life. It's like a really old musical and it was in this small little place in London.
Okay.
I mean, the cast was amazing. Now when I think about who was in it, I was like, wow. Like Sharon D. Clarke, who's like been nominated for massive awards and well acclaimed. And like loads of other cool people. But back then I was just happy to be part of some kind of creative experience. I was like, this is amazing. And then at the end of it, he was like, I used to work for a company called AKA and they do 3-month internships. And I think you should apply for it because I've worked there before and I think it will be a really good stepping stone for you and you'll learn
This
loads.
agent.
Yeah, this person who had like, got me this musical thing. And so I emailed them and I was like, I'm interested in the internship. And I got in and they were like, it will be an unpaid summer. And I was like, oh, amazing.
Where are you living again at this point?
I'm still living at home, so it's fine. Like I'm not like,
You're in the UK living, okay.
Still live in the UK, all good. But, I still had to pay for travel to get into the internship and stuff. And so I would have to work like a full day at this internship and I'd have to leave at like 5, get the train home and then go to my other job and do like a 7 till 10 at night. Because I was like, I need the money. I can't have no money every week.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe at this point they were paying travel, I'm not sure. But I still needed like something. I'm working every day for you for 3 months.
Did you love it though? Did you immediately know you
know what?
loved it?
It was a really interesting experience for me. And I felt like I learned so much from that internship. So even though it was unpaid, I came out of it being like, I know so much more than I went in with. Like I probably learned more than some of my university lectures, honestly.
Really? And
Yes.
in what way? What are some of the
I
things
just
you
felt they taught me the basics of everything. You know, they're still a very acclaimed agency. They look after loads of different shows in the West End.
Okay.
And they had a massive roster of shows back then. And so I was working on a lot of cool things. I was like making stuff. Like it wasn't as much like editing as we do now, but I'd got editing experience when I was in school because when we were doing like making our documentaries and stuff, we had to edit.
Yeah.
So I was already learning all of that in those instances. They just gave me the tools to be like, okay, well, you can do this as a career if you wanted to. This is an actual thing. And this is the size that works for this and this, like just the basics.
So they really taught you.
And they taught me.
And they gave you that.
And I was like, this is great. And then they kept me on for one other month to cover holidays, which they did pay me. So I was like, thank God. And then I was like, okay, now what do I do? Because I'm just like in the world. But then Facebook, there's a lot of groups for TV jobs. There's a lot. I must have randomly applied for something because next thing you know, I'm getting a call being like, oh, we got your application for this thing. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's to work on the X Factor and like, do you want to come in for an interview? And I was like, of course I want to come for an interview. This is like my dream. And so I had to have like 3 rounds of interviews with like 3 different people. And the whole time they were like, it's between you and someone else. And I was like, okay, amazing. And I was like, I had no idea who the other person was. It turns out they ended up hiring both of us. So which was great. I was like, best outcome for us both.
Yes.
Because I was like, if I've made it all this way and you're telling me it's between me and one other and this is one of my dream shows to be on ever.
Yeah.
And then I don't quite make it, then it'll be so sad.
Soul crushing.
I'm going to have to quit my job. I can't do customer service anymore. But customer service, like one thing about working in retail, it sets you up for any job ever.
In what way?
Because it's like, I'm working on the customer service desk. People are shouting at me. People are complaining. You know, you're dealing with real life people all day, every day. Whether it's nice people, my little shop was like in a residential area. So it was opposite a home where like a lot of old people live. So we had a lot of regular customers that would come every weekend. We knew them all. It was very sweet. So like you're dealing with them all the time and then you're dealing with the horrible people. But it just sets you up. I was like, you can come at me for everything. You want a refund for something that isn't refund worthy? I'll tell you no. Like, I was like, it just sets you up.
So dealing with different personalities, basically.
Yes. So especially when you're going to step into the TV industry and your first job's going to be on a massive entertainment program. I was like, I have to go in basically with this fire. Otherwise, you will get swallowed up.
It's interesting knowing that might be where it came from. I think a mix of your upbringing and feeling like, okay, those elements
probably
of kind of a tougher exterior and then being in customer service, it almost feels like it makes sense because you are somebody who literally has been able to handle any situation I've thrown you into.
And like even with X Factor, like literally in the first week, they were like, because there's a lot of content to catch up. But back then as well, Instagram was a thing, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Obviously, TikTok did not exist. Like if we were doing the same job now, the content level would be like crazy high. Back then it was quite a simple job. But they were like, your job is going to be to deal with the judges. And I was like, okay, first job, like dealing with like Simon Cowell and like Louis Tomlinson, Robbie Williams. Like they're like, you're going to get the content from all of them. And then I was like a person who had to stand in the dressing room. They had one big dressing room, the 4 of them, and just be in the dressing room, like filming everything, like conversations, just to see whether we would get something fun to post.
Did you ever get yelled at? Did you ever get
I didn't get yelled at, actually. I feel like it was kind of fun. But it is intimidating. You're in a room with these people and you haven't met any of them before. And you're just like a young girl who's, you know, bright-eyed, ready to take on the job. And my fellow colleagues were doing like the contestants, which are obviously a lot easier because they want to be their contestants. They want to like do the socials because they want to have a bit of a profile there.
Yeah.
Whereas like when it's bigger talent, like sometimes they can decide not to do things, or maybe it's not in the contract that they have to do socials, which back then a lot of the time it probably wasn't.
Yeah.
So you're just asking them for stuff and then their team could be like, no, they're not doing it. Even if they are happy to do it, you know, you're always dealing with a million people.
Did that hurt? Did that ever like sting?
A little bit. Or like sometimes we'd like do content and then it wouldn't get approved by all 4 people. So then we would never be able to use it. And that's happened a lot. A lot of content, a lot of work that has gone into stuff and then it hasn't been approved. And then we're like, okay, this is a really long edit, really long time to make, but we just have to let it go. Because like, if it's not approved, they're not going to change their mind.
Yeah, it's over.
And that's happened in so many jobs. I'm like, why?
Really? So even jobs you've gone through since you put something together and it's been like, nope, it's not
like
going
loads,
there.
yeah, and it's taken a lot of effort to
And
make
why
it.
do you think they usually don't approve it? What's the reason?
I don't know, maybe just how they look on the camera, like a multitude of different things. Or they're just not enjoying like the answers they've given off for something, if it's a game or I don't know.
So it's not like, okay, go edit this or change this. It's like, just it's done.
Yes, it's done. I mean, occasionally they might be like, you could just change that and it'll be fine. But yeah, I've had a lot of it's done.
Were there any memorable moments on the X Factor that you can remember as like kind of life-changing or kind of,
The thing is with the X Factor is like, you grow up on the show. I loved it so much. I had friends who were dancers back when, and they had danced on the show and it was such a cool thing. I was like, wow, it's the X Factor. By the time I did it, people didn't really like the X Factor anymore. They were like, we're done with the show. Like,
Why?
it had been on the air for a long time.
Oh.
It probably needs a refresh at this point. But when I'm on a show, I'm like its biggest fan. I'm like, I love it. It's the best show ever. And I think just being able to like walk around with my like little AAA lanyard and being like,
Triple
I'm
what?
like AAA, like Access All Areas lanyard.
Oh,
And be like,
lanyard.
lanyard. And be like, I'm actually on this production team. Like, I'm not in the audience anymore, like wanting to sit on the judge's desk and think that's really cool. I'm like going up to people being like, do you want to sit on the desk? I'll take a picture of you. You know, I'm giving people the opportunity to do that.
So that felt empowering.
It felt great.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing. I'm walking around. I'm part of this team.
Yeah.
It was really, really long days, like really long days.
Did you feel like you were where you were meant to be?
I think so. And I was like, I can't believe I've made it to this point. And this was one show of the many things I wanted to work on, but X Factor was such a big one for me.
And you
I was like, and I'm on the show and I'm running the socials and I'm logged into it on my phone and it's got like millions of followers. Like, what?
and you have no recollection of submitting that resume, that
Not really, no.
application.
I think I just emailed it from Facebook.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I did apply for that.
And so what
And then I got
happened?
it.
How long were you at X Factor for?
I was on X Factor for that season. So it's like probably about a year
Okay.
in total because you were working for like the production company. So you ended up doing like little things on Britain's Got Talent. And then a dance show came in, which was called The Greatest Dancer, which like was a dream for me because it had somebody from Glee on it. It had someone from my favorite girl band in my childhood. I was like, this is amazing.
Which was?
Girls Aloud. I mean, you probably haven't heard of them being
I have
American.
actually
Okay,
heard of
fine.
them, yeah.
But it was just like a really good combination of people. I was like, I can't believe it. All the childhood things I watched were all coming together
Yeah.
and getting to work with those talent. And one of them, you know, I ended up working with another 2 times after that, one of the presenters or like the coaches that we had. And she's amazing. And I see her now and she's still great.
Yeah.
So, you know, you get to meet a lot of amazing people. And I was just really grateful to have that experience because I love to dance. So I was like, this is the perfect show for me.
Yeah.
They're going to dance, we're going to have a good time. It was a brand new show. So kind of shaping how the socials are to people.
Starting from scratch, basically.
Starting from scratch.
And do you really feel like you found your kind of, because in social media,
Yes.
I won't speak for you. In social media, do you feel you have a style? Do you feel you have a certain way of how you edit things, about
little
how
bit.
you like to post things?
It's different. It's definitely different when like you're doing like an individual to doing like a show. Because when you're working for a show, you have to follow the style of the show. You know, your creativity is there to a certain extent. You can give ideas,
Yeah.
but you still have to, it all has to be in the style of the show. Everything you do. Whereas like if you're doing it for yourself or someone else, it's a little bit different.
A little more
Because you can put your flair
free.
into it and it's like a lot more freeing. And a lot also with a lot of TV shows, we're not allowed to use commercial music a lot of the time. So that's a massive stop in a lot of things. Your creativity has kind of gone in that sense because you're like, well, I can't use any fun sounds anymore.
Going on the dancing show then, did
Yes.
they choose what sound to use because they knew they could license it or
Well,
copyright it?
A
or
little bit for the
no?
main show because the thing is as well, social is like a completely different entity. You
Yeah.
can get things like licensed for the main show, but it might not be licensed for online.
Got
so
it.
it's 2 separate entities. But even then, like I did this dance show in 2019. TikTok was also not a thing there.
When did TikTok come
Like
out?
in the pandemic.
officially?
I mean, I feel like 2020 was when it was really starting to thrive. In any of those first 3 TV jobs, it was like Instagram,
What about
Facebook.
Vine?
Vine was like before that, yeah.
Okay, I was like, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
Vine because there's been some that have
There's
come
been,
and gone
yes.
too. And
There's
I'm
been
sure
a
there's
few.
more that we're forgetting.
Yes.
Okay.
So TikTok wasn't even, at that point, it wasn't a thing. So that we didn't have to contend with any of that
Okay.
in that instance.
Yeah.
But when it was done, then obviously pandemic hit. Then towards the end of 2019,
What was done? The dance?
the dance show was done.
So it ended right before the pandemic?
Yeah, well, I think it ended, in 2019. So some point in that.
Okay.
And then I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Because, a lot of the time with these jobs, you might be working freelance or whatever. So you might just work for that show's season only. And then you're like, okay, bye. And then you have to look for another job.
It's like the entertainment industry.
Unless you're working for like a production company and you just work on the shows continuously.
Got it.
You could just work for one show and one show only. And when the season's done, it's like your last day. You're like, okay, thank you. And at the time, like one of my really good friends was a photographer. We did a few little things together. And then everyone was like pushing us. So like, you need to just start a company together. Like, this is what you guys need to do.
Yeah.
He had worked in marketing a lot. And he obviously had the photography skills. And then I had come from social. So the 2 of us combined, like it felt like the perfect combination. And so we started setting up a business at the end of 2019. And we launched it in January of 2020.
What was the business?
It was called the Digi Creative. It was just the 2 of us. It was similar, like running socials for people.
Yeah.
Because then we could offer like photos and
It's
stuff.
like an
because-
agency.
Yeah, basically just the 2 of us. And we had a launch party and everything. Like it was crazy.
In January of 2020.
Yes, we invited like a bunch of people. We like printed out everything we could offer everyone. We just had like friends of ours who we loved that were singers just sing for us because we wanted to. We were like, just sing us a song, sure. But it was like a nice little event. And then literally then the world was like, see ya. And we were like, oh, we've just started this business. Amazing.
So what did you do?
I mean, we were lucky because off the back of that launch party, we did actually set up a lot of meetings with people. And a lot of people were like theatrical production companies. And during the pandemic, they started to take everything online. So they were doing virtual, like musicals, virtual things.
Yeah.
And because of that, we were able to then work a lot during the pandemic because they were doing that stuff. And a lot of the rules after a while were like, if you can't do it from home, you can travel out to shoots and stuff. Not loads, but like we were able to do a few things and online. So we were like, amazing. Like we've kind of scored a winner at this point.
So the pandemic kind of helped propel things.
We were like actually kind of working the whole time, the two of us together. And we're like, how has this happened?
Crazy. What came from that?
And so we continued doing it for a hot minute. And then I think maybe in 2021, we were like, he was like, I want to make a coffee table book. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we made a coffee table book.
Of the photographs? Of photographs
and things called Dear Audience. It was kind of a way because the theatre industry was, the theatre industry was opening, closing. And so this was like our way of being like to the audience, like, here's all the people that work in the industry that are, I guess, not with jobs. People wrote letters, like a lot of actors and performers, they wrote letters to the audiences to speak about, you know, the pandemic and stuff and how they felt. And then we just took like kind of like Vogue style portraits of people, and then it would have like their job description and then what they did and stuff. And it's in a little coffee table moment.
Was the letter a letter of how the pandemic is affecting them?
Yeah, I think a bit of whatever they wanted to say at that moment. Because it was like in the thick of it all that the idea kind of began. And then we launched it. I believe we launched it in 2021, but we had started the groundwork for it in the 2020s.
Wow, that's amazing. And how did the book do?
Crazy. It's like one of those things that we'd never do it again. Because we had all the books shipped to our house and we hand packaged every single one. And on day one, we sold out of all of the books that we had ordered.
No.
And my phone had like never blown up. I couldn't even open any apps because basically what we had done is that when we were doing the photo shoots, we got everyone to take a picture holding this sign that said the name of the book. And on the day of release, every single person posted it at the same time. So my entire feed was just like stuff from this book. Like it was insane. Like we were like, what is even happening here? And it was amazing for us because it allowed us to meet loads of people in the industry that either one of us knew or hadn't met before because we were reaching out to people, being like, would you be interested in doing this shoot with us? Like, you can have loads of photos off the back of it and whatever. Yeah. And everyone was like, yeah, because people weren't doing anything.
Yeah. It was a good time to
everyone was just kind of like hanging out. So we got to meet a lot of people in the industry that I'm sure led to other things in the future, which was amazing. But we just couldn't believe it. I was like, how is this sold out in one day, basically?
But amazing that you guys just kind of were like, we were going to do this thing and then it happened.
Right. So we did it in 2 batches. So we had our first one that sold out and then we were like, we'll do one more batch. That took a bit longer to sell, but we did sell it out eventually. And then we're like, no more. You know, packaging it all up, carrying it down at the high street to go to the post office and sending each one individually.
And I'm sure the postage,
it was crazy.
Did they cover the postage?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Because we had orders from all over the world.
Listen, as you know, because I know
crazy.
it's like when you're dealing with that, it's a whole different thing that you just don't realize until you're in it.
And things were going missing and I was like, oh, this is
customs fees.
I was like, how are people doing this? I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
But like we were proud of it. It was an amazing moment.
You should be.
And credit to him because, you know, he's an amazing photographer and his pictures shine in the book. Wow. And then we had to take each other's picture and then we wrote like the first page is like a letter from the two of us. Just being like, thank you to the audiences. And then we put a few businesses in there. Like anyone who wanted to just showcase something. Yeah. We're like, you can have a little ad, like, you know, whatever, sure.
What a great idea. And I love the name of it too. I actually can't wait to see it because we rushed to get here. Right? I didn't even get to look.
But it was crazy. It was like the first name we ever thought about. I was like, let's just call it Dear Audience because that's who it's for. This book was for the audiences of the industry that just were missing the theatre industry at that point. And I was like, and it kind of just stuck.
Can people still buy it today or no, it's over?
It's done. I mean, I have like some copies in my house. So
very few.
Yeah, no. Once we had sold out, we were like, this is done.
What happened to that agency?
So it was like kind of crazy because we did it for maybe 2 years. And then in January of 2022, one day out of the blue, for me out of the blue, and I'm sure he won't mind me talking about it, but he basically decided he didn't want to do it anymore. Okay. For me, I was like shocked because I hadn't seen any signs leading up to it that was like, this is going to end. Yeah. We had active clients that we were working for. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, like if he leaves me, then it's crazy because I can do the socials, but like I can take pictures, but he's a photographer. And like they were doing a lot of live events, things had opened back up. So he was obviously shooting all the events. Like I can't offer that to you. So then they'll have to hire him separately, but they hired us together as a package unit.
As a duo.
And like they're not paying us enough for me to then have to pay him to come back in and take pictures of things. So I was like, oh my goodness. And he was already thriving in his photography anyway, like outside of it. And I was like, this was kind of my main job at this point. So I was like, if this goes, then I don't know what to do.
Were you still doing waitress or was that?
It was gone. Once X Factor started, I had to quit because it just clashed. So I wasn't doing that.
Wow.
You know, in all this time, yes, I started working in a theatre. Started working in a theatre in 2017.
And what do you mean by working in the theater?
Just like working front of house, which is like, it's kind of just customer service, looking after the audiences.
Okay.
So I had that on the backbone, but obviously the theatres were opening, closing, even in that point. I'm not always there all the time. It's not enough money to like live off and like do things with. This agency is what's keeping me alive and doing the things. He also had all of like, you know, he had his laptop with all of the like stuff that we needed. I was like, if that goes, then I'm gonna have to buy something new. Like every scenario, I was like, this is bad for me. And I just did not see it coming.
Did he say why?
At all. I think he just wanted to focus on his other stuff. And now he's like a thriving West End photographer who does amazing things.
Wow.
And 100%, if that's what you want to do, then like go for it. You know, he didn't come from the social world. He came from marketing, but they are actually quite different things. And I think people don't really understand that a lot of the time, but they are. So socials were like my thing. I was used to working client facing and like making social calendars and keeping on top of that stuff. And that just wasn't his world. So I think he probably just didn't want to do it.
If you could elaborate, what is the difference you would say between if you were to go even further?
Yes.
If you were to say marketing, social media, journalism, production,
there's just so
how do
much.
those vary? And I know that's a very
that's a big question.
big question.
I think like marketing, it's like, I don't know how you market a show. It is different. They do go hand in hand. It's not like they are so far removed from one another. There are certain things in marketing that I probably don't understand at all. And it's similar with social media.
Like what?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think what it could
It's
be.
okay. It's always how it happens
I was like,
too.
it's somewhere there.
Yeah.
But just like when I read marketing job descriptions for stuff that pops up even now, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I need to like learn a bit about this and this. I think I know it, but I actually maybe don't. And people say the same with me in socials.
Yeah.
They're like, I didn't know this was a thing. I'm like, yeah. So he had come from like working marketing for a restaurant, which is very different from doing socials for an entertainment, like producers, people like that. It's just very different worlds.
Do you feel like you're dealing more from a social media standpoint with the personalities, whereas marketing is dealing more with the brand?
Probably so.
And of course, there's some overlap.
And also for us, like we were the face of the company and like no one worked for us but us. So we had to, if something was going down, like the clients are coming to me. They're not going to anyone else. You know, you're like right at the forefront of it.
Whereas marketing, you work for a company.
Whereas
so
marketing,
company.
maybe you work for a company and there's more people.
Fascinating.
And social agencies are the same. We were just a social agency of two. So you couldn't hide at any point. Like if something was happening, it was on one of us. And I'm good at handling that stuff because I'm able to when clients is fine for me.
Yeah.
And maybe that just wasn't a world that he wanted to be in anymore, which was so fine. But I think for us, like we just lacked communication on it.
Got it.
And so for me, it felt blindsiding to me because I hadn't seen it come in. And it was like a really long text message in the middle of the night telling me. And I was like, oh my God, like shell shocked. And the problem with us is that we were best friends. And so that is another layer of like, you know, another entity because we were best friends first.
Yeah.
And then everyone threw us together. And it worked. When it worked, of course it did.
Yeah.
But then no one speaks about the aftermath when it doesn't work out.
So where'd you go
Because
from
we weren't friends after that for like 2 years. Because it just was like an icky situation. And like there was never anything bad that happened between us. Like it wasn't like we had this massive argument, this massive blowout. I think it just wasn't handled between us in the way that maybe now we would look at it differently and handle it in a different way, of course.
Of course, in hindsight.
I felt like I lost a lot of friends off the back of it because I felt like everyone just gravitated towards him, which was fine.
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, he's a lovely guy, so I can understand it. But I just felt like there was probably a lot of outside voices at one point when really it was always between me and him. You know what I mean? Like there never needed to be anyone else.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think so. And I was like, okay, like it's between us, but I can't stop how other people feel maybe. And then it wasn't until 2024 that we used to see each other in that time because we'd still work crossover. But for me, like I really struggled to be in the same space because we hadn't like become friends again. So every time I saw him, it was like a trigger to me. I was like crying all the time. I was like, oh my God. And then in 2024, he saw me at my theatre that I work in. And then he texted me off the back of that. And he was like, oh yeah, I saw you tonight. Like maybe we should meet up. And now we're fine. There's always happiness at the end. Like we hung out now. It's like a whole new level, you know, but we don't work together anymore. So it's easier for us. We're never going to be exactly how we were, like pre-company, for sure. But we enjoy each other's company now. And I'll go and help him on a shoot if he asks me to help him, just like on little things. And I know that he would help me if I needed help in any scenario.
Did he ever say what it was?
Not really. But also I feel like even when we came back to one another, we never really spoke about it again. You know what I mean? At that point, it was kind of brushed under the carpet a little bit.
Got it.
And I was like, maybe we probably should have had a conversation about how I felt for 2 years. But, you know, it is what it is at this point.
Do you find that you're someone that's easy to kind of forgive and forget then?
No. I feel like I never forget something. You know what I mean? It's always in the back of my mind because I know how I felt for 2 years.
Mm.
And I was like, maybe you didn't, maybe you felt the same way. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it affected me way more because it was my life. That company was what we had built.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love doing this company and I had so many ideas for it. And I was like, we can thrive in all this way and we can reach out to this person. And then it didn't happen.
Was the only reason you couldn't continue after because that photography element was removed?
I think so. And it felt like it was a company that the two of us had made together. And I didn't really want to do it solo. Like I would do my own company solo, sure. But like that company specifically, it was like what we had crafted together.
Yeah.
You know, in the pandemic, we taught classes online. Like the whole brand was just like us together. And so when it wasn't that, like I kept the clients that we had probably for another year because I was like, I can still do stuff. But I was like, it's going to be me now on my own. And you're going to have to outsource him if you need him, which did work fine. And then I was like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. Like maybe I want to do something else. And I remember in the 2020, like right off the bat of it happening, I went to New York as I always do. And I went to a TV show recording. And because I was like, I need some inspiration.
What TV
Drew
show?
Barrymore, you know, I love her so much. And I remember just being there and I went by myself and I was like watching everyone and observing how she was with the people that she worked with. I was like, damn, I miss working in television. And I was like, she's amazing. Like she's crawling on the floor, picking up all this rubbish and people were telling her, you don't have to do that. And she's like, of course I do. And then the social team would come up to her and it would never be an issue. She would just film a TikTok there and then with the audience, like wouldn't even care.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is so different from how it used to be. Like maybe it's just her being amazing. I was like, I want to be in television again. And this show's like giving me like a kick to maybe go back.
So it inspired you.
It inspired me. And then about 2 days after that, someone texted me who I used to work with and was like, I have a job on Love Island. Do you want it? Like, would you be interested in doing it? And I was like, this is crazy.
What?
Like literally right off the bat. I was like, it's fate. I was like, Drew Barrymore's revive me. Yeah, it was crazy. So I spent the summer working on that.
On Love Island?
Yes.
In the UK, Love Island.
Yeah. I mean, like, sadly, I didn't get to go to Spain. Well, it was it was a fun summer.
I know nothing about Love Island besides what is spoon-fed to me in like passing from my friends that do watch it.
And it's on every night apart from Sundays, I think, or apart from Saturday.
The socials
for
Love Island.
Socials, and I was also running the app. So the app was like my main.
What is the app?
Just like like a little phone app that you could put polls on there or like people could vote on the app. There was a lot of elements to the app.
Is this an app that exists in the show?
Not really. But you just like, people can interact. It's like an interactive thing.
Okay.
Like the audience at home can download it. There might be a quiz of the week on there. There might be who do you think should be with who? And then you can vote. And sometimes the vote poll results might show up on the show if the producers want to use the app as like a, let's see what the audience at home are thinking.
Yeah, I was going to say. It's
and I had never worked on an app before. My friend was like, it's really easy. You'll get the hang of it. Yeah. Like you can assist with the socials if they need help, whatever. But like the app was like my baby. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I did it. And it was great.
That's amazing.
And I was like, I'm back in television again. Like, you at the end when you see the credits come up and you see your name. Nothing ever beats seeing your name in the credits for the first time. Like it is amazing. I was like, wow, let me screenshot all of this and put it on Facebook. Because that's where everyone's going to like love it. Like all the people I used to work with from the Waitrose, because I left for the X Factor. So I was like, I can never go back because I've left for high stakes. So if this doesn't work out, I can't go back.
Yeah.
And so they loved it. They were like, oh my God, we're so proud of you. I'm like, yay.
Was your name in the credits on X Factor as well?
Every show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened after Love Island? Did you was it just the one season?
One season, you do that. I came back and did another show called I'm a Celeb, where it's like the celebrities go to Australia and live in the jungle. Again, working on the app because I'd just done the app before. So they were like, do you want to do the app? And I was like, yeah, but I do want to do socials as well. So then they were like, okay, you can edit some stuff as well.
But look
so
at
I was
you.
like, great. Off the back of all of that, I then did a show called Dancing on Ice, which is where celebrities learn to ice skate, which is amazing.
Sophie!
It's amazing.
I got asked to do Dancing on.
I mean, listen, we could have been on my season. I just did it for 1 year and it was the best ever.
Obviously, there was a UK version in it. Excuse me.
Was there a US version? No.
Yeah, well, that's the one I got asked to. I don't think it ever actually.
I was going to say, I didn't record a US version, but maybe I didn't.
I don't think it ever came to be, but it was like they wanted to gauge my interest because they knew I had figure skated when I was a kid. Because it was,
imagine, you would have been amazing.
That is crazy.
It was such a fun show.
So you did Celebrities on Ice? Is that what it's called?
It's called Dancing on Ice.
Dancing on Ice for the UK.
Yes.
And did it only go one season?
It'd been on for years and years. It was one of those shows that was on for a long time, then it came off the air for a few years.
Got it.
And then it came back again. Like it was kind of on and off for many years. I'd been in the audience of it at one point when I was younger. And it was just like a classic. It was on like every Sunday.
Yeah.
People would, watch it. I loved that show. Probably one of my favorite.
Why?
I don't know. The atmosphere was great. I always want to go in and showcase like the pro skaters because I think a lot of the time people are put it all on the celebrities. They want to see the celebs and all that.
Yeah.
But the pros are amazing. And there was some amazing, incredible pros on that show.
So with something like Celebrities on Ice, you were actually going to the show. Like X Factor,
Yes.
you're going to the show.
Going to the show.
But Love Island and I'm a Celeb.
I'm a Celeb, yeah. It was called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Get Me Out of Here.
I'm a
Those
Celeb.
ones you didn't go to set because those
I
were
didn't go.
obviously on location.
Love Island, we ended up kind of all going to an office together because nobody went that year to Spain. So we were like working together, but we were in London.
Is Love Island always in Spain?
Yes.
Oh.
Sometimes they do it in South Africa once a year, which is a different version. But
So
yes,
the British
the summer
people
one is in Spain.
Go to Spain
Yes.
for Love Island.
Yes. For like 6 weeks. In the
Or
summer.
South Africa.
South Africa is usually like, I think that's more like a all-starry one where people come back from the seasons that have been on there before.
Why do they go to Spain?
It's always been in Spain. It's just like
Is
classic.
it like they can like bypass laws or
I
something?
don't
So they do
know.
it.
And then the big
This
villa
is
in
great.
Spain and
Okay.
they all just like live together and have a great time.
I was like, I'm going to go on a tangent about this.
But
This
we
is amazing.
worked like in the office together. Well, we didn't
Yeah.
have to all come in, but we did because it was
Yeah.
nice to just be together as
Well, yeah.
a group of 4. And then I'm a Celeb. People did go to Australia because it's filmed in Australia, but I
Okay.
worked from home the whole time.
Okay.
So I was just like connecting with them, but I was like at home.
Did you ever get tired
It's
of
like-
with social media because you can be disconnected? Did you get tired of having to work from home?
Yeah, a little bit. Like
Okay.
there's fors and against, like, you know, you save money on travel, things like that.
Yeah.
Because working from home, I don't think was ever a thing. Like pre-pandemic, it was never a thing.
Yeah.
X Factor, we were in every single day at that office.
Yeah.
No chance you were ever working from home.
Got it.
Unless you were obviously on location, because X Factor did air on the weekends. So like my week would be changed up that I'd have to work weekends, but I would have maybe 2 days off in the week.
Oh, that's nice.
And it would like switch around and stuff. Dancing on Ice, I worked from home every day apart from Sunday. Sunday was the show day. So I would go to the studios
Okay.
every Sunday.
Okay.
And at the start of my contract, they were like, you don't have to go to the studio. I was like, no. I would like to go to the studio.
Well, you have to capture the
I
content.
want to be in the studio. And it was honestly amazing. Like, I've also worked on a lot of shows that have been live. Like all of these shows I've been on
Mhm.
have been something that has aired live at the time.
Yeah.
So once it starts, you're on the train. Like, you know, Dancing on Ice, I'm at the side of the ice rink. And as soon as they come off from their performance, I'm like, tell me how you felt about this performance, whatever. And it's going on stories straight away.
So you're asking questions.
And it has to be up on that story before the next couple have finished their thing. And all of them have to be up before the vote.
But then
Because it's live.
don't you have to also get approval though of every single
Not
post?
with that stuff. That's
Okay.
that one. Other things, yes, but things that are like quite simple. They're never going to say anything mad at that point. It's just like, tell me how you felt, or if they did something amazing and the judges gave them like high scores.
Yeah.
How'd you feel to get a 10 or whatever?
So in a way, you were able to be a presenter of social
It
media.
was so fun. I mean, I wasn't on the camera, but it was fun.
But it doesn't sound like. Do you want to be on camera?
I don't mind. Like, I don't mind being
Yeah.
on camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
But you're okay. You
Like
just
a
want to
50-50.
present,
I just want to like interview
host,
people.
interview.
You know?
So where do you go from there?
Well, I did at one point. So that was like 2023, maybe 24.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, where am I going to go? Because these TV jobs are very far and few between.
Mm-hmm.
The social teams on a lot of these shows are so tiny. I think people think it's like loads of people. It just really isn't.
Yeah.
Dancing on Ice, I was a social team on my own. Like we had
Wow.
one guy who was a senior who would like float. He was doing a couple of shows. So he would be there if I like needed assistance, if I really needed it. But it was
Yeah.
really just me on my own,
Got it.
coming up with all the ideas, making all the content, and just showing it to them, being like, is this okay for the week? I would edit like all the YouTube stuff. Like it would just all be me.
Did they take social media seriously at the time? Is another question
Yeah.
I have. So
And
they
it was good, and
they
like-
knew it was a tool.
There was a tour and
Yeah.
like, you know, every week I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go to the studio. So I'm going to get probably 15 minutes with the judges and
Yeah.
the presenters. So like, what am I going to do with them? Or like, what's going to be something that I can film? Like in the very first week, we filmed all of them guessing who the winner would be. And we put it in envelopes and we sealed it up.
Yeah.
And then we opened it in the finale. Like stuff that's going to be like a longevity. And then we could
Yeah.
still pick it up midway through the season, being like, are you confident of your the person that you wrote down? Things like that. But yeah, every idea I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Again, no commercial music was allowed. So I was like, I can't do all these trends. So if I do a trend, I'll have to change the song and it won't really make the same effect, but we'll do it anyway.
You love your songs.
You know, I was like, I don't know what, like, sure, I'll have to get a royalty-free tune that I can use and it won't make no sense, but
Yeah.
okay. So that was really good for me because I had always been in a team.
Yeah.
So being like a solo person doing it, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, now it's your time to like, I guess, shine in a way and just like prove that you can do it by yourself in a massive entertainment show. That was scary, but like when you get good talent, it makes life so much easier.
Who was one of your
No.
favorite talents to work with? Or at least I know
I
there's
mean,
probably
like,
a couple.
like
But
I say,
at least-
all the pros, like some of them, especially at the end of the season, like they messaged me such lovely things. I was like, oh my God, like actually making me like want to cry because it's
Yeah.
just, it was just so beautiful. Like some of the, and then I've been back to watch because it went on again for another season.
Yeah.
I didn't do it again, but then I went back to watch the show and I was like, oh, like love you all. You were just so nice to me.
Yeah.
I think because I cared
As they
about
should be.
the pros as much as I cared about them a lot. And people don't usually care about that element. You know what I mean? Because it's all about this. They're like celebs. And like, I'm like, yeah, but these pros are teaching you and they're the ones that have got the skills.
The talent.
And they're amazing. And they want to be featured on the socials. They do.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone gives them the opportunity to be featured.
And you did.
And also like one of the judges from that show had also been one of the like dance captains on the dance show. So it was the same person.
Oh, wow.
So she was like, oh my God, I thought I saw you in rehearsals and I can't believe you're back. And then, you know, that's great. And then she was like, let's, you know, champion all the pros. And I was like, I will. So, you know, you meet people from all, like people transfer from job to job all the time.
Well, you end up realizing
And
that
it's
it's a
amazing.
small industry.
So
Right?
small.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love you all.
So where do you go from there?
So I go from there. So then I was like trying to find more jobs because I was like, there's no jobs out here. Probably applying for a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
At the time I started helping my friend do some socials. Like she's a singer actor. So I was like, let me just help you do stuff. Like she went on a tour. And I was like, I'll just come with you on the tour.
Yeah.
I was kind of like being an assistant and just filming stuff at the same time, keeping things organized. So I did a lot of like ad hoc stuff for her. Like if she was doing an event.
What?
Like ad hoc, like here and there. Just like if she was doing an event, I'll come and film the
What
event.
is ad hoc short for? That must be
I
short
don't
for
know.
something.
It's just a word that
Ad
we
hoc?
use. Ad hoc, yeah.
Ad hoc.
Yeah. We'll have to Google it. But just like, you know, little bits and bobs. Like I'm doing this event here and like, do you want to come and film this event? Or
Yeah.
little things here and there, not like
Yeah.
all the time. Or like I'm doing a big concert, like just come and
Just every
help
once in a
me
while.
out and be my assistant or like film some stuff in the same breath.
And
Okay,
did you
fine.
like that?
It was good, but it was also good because we were friends before. We were really good friends. So it was just like hanging out with your friend all the time.
Yeah.
And then filming stuff for her as well. So I was like,
Yeah.
it's nice, you know. And she had a lot of great fans and a lot of loyal, supportive fans, same as you. And it was really lovely to see them be everywhere and travel everywhere. And you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
just very sweet. And they like thought the world of her. And I was like, she's my friend and she's great. So like, it really makes me happy that you do think that way about her because it was fun. And then, I was like, I don't really know where I'm going to go because I'm not finding any other TV jobs. And then it gets really hard because you're like, I'm working in my theatre job, which is keeping me afloat. But I've been there so long. Like at this point, and I still work there, been there like 8.5 years. I'm like the longest running member of that team. And so it's like all of the people that I started with don't work there anymore. And, you know, the turnover of people. Now I'm like the oldest one. People come in, they're like fresh 18-year-olds. And I'm like, oh, I feel so old to you. Because we're just in completely different stages of life. It's such an interesting place to work. And so I was like, I don't know what to do because I'm looking for jobs and there's just nothing out there. And I feel like a lot of my career, I've been promised a lot of stuff and not given it, or like false hope with a lot of jobs. They're like,
what?
we're gonna send you here. And then they're like, oh, actually, we're not going to do that anymore.
Do you have any examples?
Like I was meant to go to South Africa at one point, didn't happen.
For Love
I was going to go
Island.
to Australia, didn't happen.
Got it.
Loads of like, we're going to send you to LA to like go be part of X Factor judges' houses, didn't happen. So it's a lot of like promises, like you're egging me up for this job and I'm getting excited and then you're taking it away from me.
Didn't happen as in it got given to somebody else or just didn't happen?
Either got given to someone else or they were like, or actually we've been having conversations with someone else, or like miscommunication between people. Like someone had promised me something and then they had left and then somebody else had taken over and they hadn't passed on the messages.
Yep.
And so then I was like, what do you mean I'm not working on this show? Like I've already, and they were like, oh, she's left now. I'm like, okay, I'll just won't work on the show then, sure. So you get a lot of that and it becomes very hard to be motivated because I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And then a few jobs came up on a couple of different daytime TV shows. And I was like, I'm going to apply for them all. So I was like, why not? It was like, there was like 4 jobs or something. I was like, I'm going to apply
And
for
where
them
did these come up? Where did these auditions?
it was on LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
We've moved
yeah.
into the adult world now. LinkedIn is a great tool. And I was like, I'm just going to apply.
Yeah.
And then I got an interview for one of them and I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is amazing. And then in the same breath, he was like, oh, you've applied for 2 of these shows. Let me just interview at the same time. And I was like, okay, which was like not expecting. So I'm interviewing for 2 jobs at the same time, answering the same questions, but for different shows. Crazy. I don't end up getting the job. And then he's like, but another show wants you to like come in and be freelance. And I'm like, okay, so I didn't get the job, but I can come back and freelance for the show.
Why?
Same thing. I was like, okay, amazing. So I went back in to freelance for one show. And in the same breath, a girl who was working on another one is the person who got the job. So I was like, it makes sense. You're already working there. You've applied for the job that
kept
I've
it
gone
in-house.
through. They kept it in-house, but they
Got
have
it.
to still interview everyone. So I was like,
Got it.
you're taking a step up in this new role. Really happy for you.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But then they were like, but then her job on this other show is now available. And so she was like, do you want to just go for that? I mean, you've started freelancing on the show and you're learning what she was doing. So
Yeah.
would you be interested? And I was like, yes. I was like, I want to work on the show.
What was
Show's
the
still
show?
on now. It's called This Morning. And it was just like, again, one of those bucket list shows I had. I used to watch the show as a kid. I used to record it and then watch 2.5 hours of it when I got home from school
Yeah.
because I loved it. I mean, people probably wouldn't say the same about it now, but back then I was like, I love this show. So to step onto that studio floor for the first time, I was like, you've made it.
Were you nervous?
I wasn't nervous. necessarily. I'm always nervous, like a little bit internally when I'm about to meet like new talent, new things, because I'm like, I just hope that they're on board with what we need to do, because my whole job is to do social. So if you're not on board with it, then it's going to make my life hard.
And that they're nice.
And that they're just genuinely just nice. Like, you know, I'm not going to go in and be your best friend, but as long as you're nice to me and we can have a mutual something, then we'll all be good. Do you know what I mean? I go in with little expectation and hope that it's just going to exceed my thing. And everyone was amazing. I never had any issues with anyone.
Yeah.
We had some amazing talent on the show. I just loved it so much. And it was really like, it felt like a full circle moment from watching the show to then working on the show. And I was like, I'm posting all this stuff. And like my first video we ever posted got 8 million views. And I was like, wow, look at this. Like,
why?
And it was like about a hot water bottle. Like, it was crazy.
What happened? Like, why did it go viral?
I was like, this is just what happens on this show. Like, things are going viral all the time.
Oh, that was common.
It's just, yeah. But I didn't know that. I was like, wow, amazing. 8 million? Like, it was crazy in my first week.
That's so interesting. So it wasn't like you came in with a special touch. It was like the show just went viral a lot?
It just went viral a lot.
Wow.
I had a lot. You know, it's a show that's made up of like celebrity interviews, cooking segments, real life stories, some amazing real life stories that you can't even believe have happened. So then that kind of stuff ends up doing well because you can't believe the story that people are telling.
Yeah.
So it's a really good balance between a lot. You know, you still get your entertainment mix, but then you also get that you like real life people, and it's just it was a nice show to be on.
Did you love it?
I loved it so much.
Did you learn a lot?
I feel like I didn't learn a lot because I felt like in all the experiences that came before, I kind of already knew everything. But it set me up to just be able to go into that job and feel confident in what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, I know how I can edit these videos fine, and we can do it efficiently and we can get our stuff done quick.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to talk to talent, and I'm not scared to talk to teams of talent because, you know, a lot of the time, like, I think one of my colleagues was always like, oh, you go and speak to them. I don't want to do it. And I'd be like, all right, sure, I'll do it. Because it can be intimidating. It can. And when you're like getting someone in there promoting like a Netflix show and there's like a team of like 10.
Yeah.
And you have to go and brief the talent and everyone's watching you because it happens a lot. And I'm like, it's fine. I'll do it.
But you've always had this, I feel like, or maybe it's just fake it until you make it, fake it until you make it.
Yes.
You have this ability to have a lot of confidence going forward.
Actually, I'm not a crazy confident person, which is wild.
So where does this
I am
come from?
quite an insecure person to a certain extent, but somehow the confidence is just there with people. I think like I know that is part of the job.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, then you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
People aren't going to take you seriously and you're not going to get out of what you need. Like if I'm filming a video and I'm not going in with confidence and knowing exactly what I need from you, you're not going to give me what I need. There's just going to be issues.
Have you always had this though? This
I guess probably somewhere.
Or at least a facade of confidence.
Yeah, probably.
Like I get what you're saying. You're insecure internally, but
I've always had it somewhere.
And where do you think that comes from? Is your mom like that? Is your nan like that?
I think maybe just like doing drama at school and like, you know, having to do this like play in front of people, like little things.
Do you actually do drama at school? Like put on plays?
Well, one play, yes. I was in a Midsummer Night's Dream. I was the narrator, thank you. And I'm basically an actor. And I did it at GCSE level and like fine, got an A and it was amazing. Never did it again. But like, you know, I still had to perform in front of people.
Got it.
When you dance, you know, you still have to do exams and perform in front of people. So that does build your confidence to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I'm being thrust into situations with like talent here, there and everywhere. And I'm like, you just have to be confident enough to deal with it. Because not everyone's going to be nice and you just have to go in and be like, okay, this is exactly what I need from you. It's going to take 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. We'll film the video and then you can go.
It's just so interesting. It sounds like all these things kind of led to the person you are today. It's very clear. It's very clear to see from childhood, being, you know, raised kind of like an only child and feeling like you have to be strong, and then doing the drama thing and loving the arts and being creative, and then also having kind of those mean girls going like, okay, I'm going to deal with tough personalities, which also kind of segue into being in customer service.
All the things.
You know how to deal with a lot of different personalities, good and bad.
Like, I've had people tell me that I will never make it. Like, and every time I've been like, I'm going to do it.
Why would they say that?
Know. People say, you'll never work in this industry. You'll never do this and whatever. I'm like, I've had people tell me that I'll never work in certain industries. I'll never do certain things. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just try and prove you wrong, I guess, for the most part.
But why would they say that? Is it in like a heated moment? Is it someone that knows you really well?
I don't know. People that just don't have confidence in me, I guess. But I've been able to do it. So it's just interesting to me.
But why?
People that told me that you and I would never meet in the time where I was like, I'm going to work with her one day. And they're like, you'll never do that. And now we're on a podcast together, so it's quite funny. But it's just like, no one ever had faith that, like, I think people think that things are so impossible. Why would you ever get to that point?
But why?
Me, I'm like, I don't think anything is impossible at all. But I think things are harder to get. Obviously, I'm not just going to wake up one day and then work on a dream show. Like things are hard to get. You're not just going to wake up one day and interview your dream person in the interview, whatever. It's not an impossible thing. Everyone's a human being. There's a way to get there somehow. Someone else has done it, so there's not a way that you can't do it.
But that perseverance and that
But somehow I just
strength,
pursue.
but that's what I mean. Because you understand that, yes, it's not going to happen overnight, but you have the courage to say, I want that.
Yeah.
And then you have the ability to say, it's not going to just be easy. I have
It's
to
not gonna be
work
easy.
towards it.
And I think now, like, I'm never scared to like reach out and ask. The worst case scenario is that someone's not going to reply or they'll just say no.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
When I emailed you, I was like, you just won't reply or you say no. Like, that is just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you don't do it, then you don't know what will happen. You know, it's like things can happen. But I think people are put off by the fact of someone just saying no. So they don't put themselves out there and they don't try for something. I also feel like I've been so career driven my whole life that the goal was always there for me. I'm like, you want to work in the entertainment industry in some capacity, whether it's presenting, whether it's whatever, socials fed into it. So you'll do it at some point. You've done the hustle, you've been to TV shows when you were a kid, you went to university for it, you did your work experience. You probably like, I chased all these people for things. They were probably like, leave me alone. And I was like, I want experience. But I did it, you know, and I was probably annoying to them then. But great experience. But I also feel like for me personally, like I have probably put other things on the back burner to be able to have a career. You know what I mean? I don't let people in easily necessarily. I do and I don't. But like I push things away because I've been so on the career path my whole life that I don't think I've allowed myself to have other things. You know what I mean?
Like what?
Being in relationships, like things have happened, but it's not like I've just been so on the career path.
Got it.
And then people would come up and I'd be like, no, I don't think it's the right time. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm too busy.
Got it.
You know what I mean? In moments where I'm like, really, you weren't that busy, it probably would have been fine.
But also too, it's a phase, right? It's not a phase.
And like, listen,
we go through
in early 30s, like there's still time for things. But
that's what I mean is we go through phases of life. And it sounds like this phase is like, you're kind of just like head down, continue.
Yes.
Nothing needs to distract me
All the
until you
things.
get to what you want, which is what is it you want? Where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 15 years?
I actually have no idea. I think about it all the time.
Do you want to start your own company again? A social media agency? So you don't want to do that?
I did enjoy doing it. It was a really great time. A lot of pressure when it's your own company.
Yeah.
Like I actually like being freelance. It's fun. I'll only ever work with an individual if I really absolutely can be like, one, we'll work good together. And two, like it makes sense for me. If I don't have any like equal passion the other way, I can't do it. People have asked me so many times to help them individually and I've said no. Because I'm like, I don't feel passion for your career enough to be able to work with you one-on-one.
Wow. Oh, I should be.
Which is crazy because I'm like, you know, you're turning down things, but I'm like, yeah, but I don't think I can do anything for you. So there's no point for me.
But that's also, you seem to have a very clear
And there's not many people I want to do it with.
compass of like, I know what I want. Like you have is that an internal voice that you can listen to? Because obviously it's, you know, I'm a yes person. I would be that.
I am a yes person.
But
listen, Shonda Rhimes' A Year of Yes changed my life. Like as in, she started saying yes. I was like, I'll start saying yes.
But what I'm saying is like, you're able to say no to people that don't inspire you.
Yes.
Or that you're like, I'm not the right fit for you.
Only more so towards the end.
Okay,
like,
so that hasn't always been
in
the
the semi-recent of times, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
looking back on your entire career so far, which you still have so much ahead of you, you're still so young, is
I'm a baby.
what would you have done differently? Or is there anything you would have done differently?
I think that I would have definitely considered whether university was the thing for me. Because a lot of people that I have worked with in the industry did not go to university.
Yeah.
It was different then. I didn't even think I was going to be a person who would ever get to go because it's so expensive. And I didn't realize, you know, there were so many like ways and means of going without having to just like pay up all this money. Of course, we have student finance.
Yeah.
But when I was in school, they kind of made us like apply for it. Like in the sixth form, everyone had to apply.
Yeah.
Whether you wanted to go or not was a different matter, but they made you apply.
So interesting. You
that
had to apply
the
for
option. You had the options you had to apply for 5 universities. And then you could make the decision whether you wanted to further it if you got in.
Yeah.
But they pushed everyone to apply just so we all had an option of going if we wanted to go, which was a good thing for a lot of people because it gave them that thing and then they went to university and they loved it. I don't feel like I came out of university learning a whole bunch more than before I went in.
Wow.
In honesty, I felt like I learned so much at school, especially in those last 2 years of school life from 16 to 18.
You mean in high school?
When I was just doing like media studies and I was like, my teacher was amazing and it was just, I learned everything from those classes.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I went into university like coming out with a wealth of knowledge more, really. Yes, I was challenged, like, you know, we had to write articles and things like that I don't enjoy doing, but I didn't learn loads.
Yeah.
So I'd probably be like, is university really what you want to do? Or could you just start in the industry at this point?
Do you feel like
Because I feel like a lot of people do that now. They just come out of school and then they just somehow make it into the industry that way.
Do you feel like you would have been further along in your career if you had done that?
Maybe. I think my career would be a little bit different.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just would have had a head start. Because, I not wasted, but 5 years of life is like a massive amount of time when I could have, like there are people who are in higher levels of job roles than me that are way younger than me, who did not go to university.
Yeah.
Who just kind of just went straight at it.
Wow.
So maybe I could have been that person. I don't also strive for those roles either. Like I'm more than happy to just be in my digital producer level and be happy with that. Like I don't want to take on all the responsibility. I'm actually very happy when somebody else, I can be like, you deal with that.
So you still want to, you don't necessarily want to have your own company.
No.
You want to be able to work under somebody, but you want to have the stability I'm hearing.
Yeah, the stability is good. And like, when I worked on the morning show, it was great because it was like, I was there every day. I had a purpose of like leaving the house and going to do something, which I really did love. And I was in a good routine. I would see the same people every day. I kind of love that. You do your job and you go home and that's it. Like the show's live again. I love a live show. And then you just do everything and then you go, see you later, see you tomorrow. Yeah. And you build up a relationship with the talent because it's the same talent all the time. So you've already got that locked in, which is amazing. So I do miss that kind of stability. Yeah. But then the freelance life is also great.
I was going to say,
listen, you get so much free time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just been to Orlando and then I'm extending my trip and like you wouldn't be able to do that if you were in a job because you would have X amount of days holiday.
Do you want to do more celebrities, actors, singers, dancers, or you're like, else? I'd rather work for a company, I'd rather work for a
I do. I enjoy the individualness. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
But again, it has to be the right person.
Yeah.
I can't do it for anyone. So it has
Which is great that you say that. I know like we're running out of time. I'm looking at this clock because we're in a podcast studio in London and like I've never been under such tight restraints to like I'm like get in everything and also make sure. So I hope that watching this back, I'm like we got all the beats at least. And my nose has been like tickling the entire time. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. But I just wanted to say thank you for coming on this podcast. Thank you for sharing your story with me. We're gonna do the sweet and savory round. I would love to know if you think you're sweet or savory.
I definitely think I'm savory.
Have you taken a quiz?
I haven't taken a quiz. I also haven't listened to the quizzes for a minute.
Okay.
So I don't know the changes in the quiz because the quiz has changed it up.
They do. Now, the other thing I want you to explain right now while I'm pulling this up because now everything's on my phone as well is what did we choose to have as our snack?
Well, we just chose to have tea, which let me tell you, I did bring my own tea bags, but we just had that and biscuits. So you can't really eat a biscuit and talk.
It's kind of loud.
In the same moment.
It's true. It's kind of loud.
You can't be crunching whilst giving, chat.
Okay. So I'm going to do, I know that they're like, be done now. Are you going to try any of the biscuits right now?
I'm going to wait until afterwards. Because otherwise it will be in my tea.
That's true. It's true.
And I'll have chocolate tea. Can't do that either.
Trying to also do this on like my phone has also been.
Listen, the iPad does not travel globally, everyone. But no, it's been an honor. I'm very happy you have me.
Okay, I think that's everything.
It's so warm in here, so the pressure of the heat.
It is warm in here.
It's got progressively warmer since we've been in here. And I did think there was good AC when I first stepped in.
Also, too, what people didn't know is right now we're dealing with a heat wave in London. Yay. So everyone's happy about it. But in situations like this where you're in a podcast room, it's a little hot.
I don't thrive in here, but I thrive outside.
But you know what? We're looking glowing, I like to say. No, I want to take it back. So it's been a pleasure to have you on. I've been wanting to have this conversation with you. I feel like we could have even touched on more and gotten deeper.
Oh my God, so much more.
What would you say out there? I want to make sure this too is like, what would you say out there to people that wanted to get into social media? I really wanted to talk more too about like the love and hate of social media, the pros and cons of social media.
Oh my God, we have a lot.
Okay,
guys, I'm coming to LA. We're doing a podcast.
We might have to do one in LA to really kind of talk about, this was your journey, but I really would love to hear your insights. Because
there's a lot.
Because you know so much, but also what would you say to someone out there that wants to get into social media? And what do you say? I mean, to have people say you're never going to make it.
I know. It's crazy.
I just want to delve into that even deeper because it's like crazy.
Yes. It's like, I think you have to be a very strong-willed person to be working in the industry. I mean, social media, like, it's different. When you work with an individual, it's a completely different ballgame. Yeah. Because you're not hiding behind a company. You know what I mean? When you're working on a TV show, you're kind of like anonymous to the world. You're just like doing your thing. It's different when you're on one-on-one because people know you and it's a thing. But actually someone did ask me this question just at the convention this past weekend about getting into the industry. Yeah. I think you have to go and get the experience. For me, like I was that go-getter. Like I just was never afraid of the no. Yeah. And I was probably, like I say, annoying to a lot of talent that I was like, bombarding with like, please let me come to this. Please let me be in this world for a second. Yeah. But when I left like university or whatever, I just had that wealth of experience and it does make such a big difference because you have to be able to stand out now. It is so much harder than it was when I started. I think now, and I know this from, having a full-time job and then looking to apply for other things and not even getting an interview after doing this for like nearly 10 years, creativity level now is like exploded. Like it's exploded.
In what
So you
sense?
have to be able to like have your own touch on things. You have to be able to stand out. You know, I would start making like your own media pack now to show what that you can do. And even if you can't get experience working for big companies or whatever, ask your friends, like if people have businesses, small business, anything where you can just like make something so that when they are asking you in interviews or when you're putting yourself forward for jobs, you have something to offer.
So basically a portfolio.
Like a portfolio, yeah. Because
Fantastic.
everyone's asking for that now and they were not asking for that back in the day.
Because
you
it's more
would never,
competitive.
ever be asked for a portfolio. Now every job's like, please upload a whole portfolio. I'm like, well, all of my stuff's on like TV show socials. Like I didn't make one back then.
Yeah.
So now what am I doing? So yeah, never be afraid of the no.
Okay. That's great. That's
It's
perfect.
so scary. It's so scary. But
Never be afraid of the no.
listen.
Okay, we're going to do the sweet and savory round because they're already 3 minutes behind and they're going I feel like someone's going to open the door
You're
any
like,
second now.
Ah.
Okay, are you ready?
Always.
Waffles or tacos?
Oh my God. We don't have either of them here, but probably tacos.
Romantic comedy or psychological thriller?
Rom-com always.
Fresh flowers or scented candles?
Scented candles because I have that more.
A quiet bookstore or a loud concert?
Loud concert always.
Golden hour or midnight?
Golden hour.
Apologize first or wait for an explanation?
Probably wait.
Silk or leather?
Silk.
People pleaser or truth teller?
I'm a people pleaser, 100%.
A warm hug or a firm handshake?
I like a hug. Yeah.
Ask for permission or ask for forgiveness?
Permission.
Doubt yourself or double down?
Oh, both. And it's always both, but probably I don't want to doubt myself, so I'm doubling down.
Emotional or analytical?
Emotional.
Safety or risk?
Oh my God, these are so different. Safety.
Second chances or one strike and you're out?
I'd like to be a second chance person. I'm probably, no, I would give a second chance. I would give a second chance.
Be adored or be respected?
Respected, always.
Heart on the sleeve or cards close to your chest?
Cards close to my chest.
Seek advice or trust your gut?
Seek advice.
Nostalgia or the future?
Nostalgia.
Forgiveness or boundaries?
Boundaries. Oh my
Team-
God.
Team.
I was like, yes, boundaries.
We need
always.
to talk more about that.
Oh my God.
Team player or lone wolf?
Team player, for sure.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
A static grid or a chaotic reel?
And chaotic real, always.
Perfect aesthetic or raw authenticity?
Raw.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
London rain or California sunshine?
Oh, damn, can it be London sunshine? Then London rain, because I'm not going to not do my hometown.
Cut the clip short or let it breathe?
I mean, let it breathe, sure.
A viral overnight hit or a deep loyal community?
Loyal community, 100%.
Work in absolute silence or music blasting?
Music.
Analyze the data or trust the vibe?
Trust the vibe.
Behind the edit or in front of the camera?
I'm in both, but behind the edit. That was such a different quiz. And I literally did study.
What did you say? Did you say you were sweet or savory?
Oh, savory.
You're savory.
I knew it.
Oh
I'm
my
never
God,
going to be
look at
sweet.
that.
I could have been a combo, but I'm never going to be sweet.
I'm like, oh God. It's different when
I'm
you're
not a
not in your
sweet
own
girl.
living room. I didn't even get to ask about the Walker's shortbread and
I
the
know.
Fort and Mason's shortbread,
We'll
Rosemary's,
just eat them all and they're
the-
going to be great.
and the hobnobs. We're going to eat those and I'm going to look at dear audience and maybe we'll
Thank you.
capture those on the cell phone so we have it. But
Yes,
this has been an
please.
absolute
It's been
joy.
amazing.
I'm talking 100 miles an hour. We're going to do
I know,
it
they're
again
like,
because
get the fuck out.
I really want to hear more and more, but really, really, really thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
This is the most full circle moment I'll ever have.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, just sidetrack at the end of the podcast. Before I actually emailed you, all I ever wanted to do was interview you for my podcast. Sidetrack for like 5 years. So it's funny that the tables turned.
Well, maybe we'll have to have
And
have
here
you
we are.
interview
The
me.
podcast is not happening anymore, probably not. But maybe it'll just be a one night only.
Well, maybe when I finally get interviewed on this podcast,
Yeah.
you'll be the one to do it.
It'll be lonely.
Thank you
I'll
so
get all
much.
the tea, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Sophie.
you. It's been a blast.
It's been an amazing year working with you. I can't wait for many more.
The chaos continues, everyone.